Hello and welcome back to Honest Convo. My name is Demetrius and I'm the son,
My name's Monet, and I'm the mom.
and we are absolutely thrilled to have you here today.
Yes, thank you for joining us. And for
Mhm.
those of you that this is your first time joining us, we wanted to tell you a little bit about Honest Convo.
Yes.
So, Honest Convo is a moment for a mom and son to talk about music and life lessons.
hmm
And that's because we believe that music has a message. All music
All
has a
music.
message of some type. And so we thought, okay, why not just take a moment to kind of talk about some of those things with some of the songs that most people are familiar with, or maybe even unfamiliar with,
Right.
and the messages that are attached to the songs.
hmm
And so we thought, okay, let's bring you guys along
Yes.
as we kind of talk about this stuff. And so in our first episode, we talked about our music preferences. And so for me, my favorite type of music is R&B.
For me, I had two favorites. One was jazz and the second was pop, but mainly pop is my ultimate favorite.
Yes. And so what we did was we challenged each other to listen to a different type of music.
Right.
So for me, I asked my son to listen to the Fugees,
Yes.
which is hip hop.
hmm And I asked my mom to listen to a jazz artist named Boney James. He's a saxophonist and a pretty good one at that.
So what did you think of the
Of the
Fugees?
Fugees. Oh, I listened to Ready or Not. I thought it was interesting. I definitely like the beat. However, I did not realize that I had listened to some of their songs in the past, and I didn't realize it was by them. So I thought that was a bit interesting. I will say though, a few of their songs did have profanity, which I don't really like profanity because I just don't see the need to cuss. But other than that, I would say the song was pretty good.
Okay.
hmm
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You know, sometimes sometimes profanity is not needed, but
Not necessary, no.
everybody's it's to each its own.
To each
To
his
each
own,
his
yes.
own, and so for me, I listened to Boney James Butterfly.
hmm
And so it is definitely a chill, easy listening song. Not something that I'm gonna rock out to at the gym or anything like that. But it is something that probably would be good if like early morning I'm just waking up and I just want to hear something real light. Then that
Mellow.
yeah, then that's something that I'm gonna go to. So
Yeah.
I would give it a thumbs up
hmm I would give it thumbs in the middle
for the Fugees.
for the Fugees. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so there you have it. And so it's okay to try different
Try new things. Get outside your comfort zone because at the end of the day, we all know that comfort is the absolute enemy of progress. To truly succeed, you cannot and will not always be comfortable.
Right, right. So today we are going to talk about.
Michael Jackson and the song we are going to be talking about, which you may or may not know, hopefully you do know, is The Man in the Mirror.
Yes, so we asked ourselves with the man in the mirror, are you being your true self?
Yes.
So with Michael Jackson's song, what do you really think he means by man in the mirror?
When he says man in the mirror, I really think about self-reflection. Um, I think that it's all about looking at yourself and seeing when he says that line, if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. Take a look at yourself. What do you want to do? How can you make this world a better place? I think that's what he's talking about. Self-reflection, really.
Yeah, I agree. And like you just pointed out, it's in the it's in the lines.
It's in the lyrics,
right?
yes.
It's in the lyrics. Take a look at yourself
And make
and
that change.
And so looking at yourself in the mirror can be hard.
Yes,
It can be
certainly. Yes.
Yeah, it can be hard either way. Just like physically actually looking at yourself for some people, that's a struggle, right?
Right.
Or just really having to look within can be a difficult thing.
hmm
So, what do you think when it comes to maybe if you're having disagreements with someone or something like that? Do you feel like it's easier to blame others or easier to actually look at yourself?
It is most certainly easier to blame others. Doesn't mean it's right, but that's just human nature. Another Michael favorite. However, that's not the point though. But yes, I think it's just human nature that people. It's hard for people, like you said, to look at themselves. It's the immediate reaction when somebody says something to us that we don't like is to immediately get defensive.
Right.
That doesn't mean it's a good thing, but that's what we do. And when you immediately go to the defensive, you don't get to see the other person's side
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to hear it. It's. I feel like it's all about setting your pride aside.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel like it's about. I feel like it's like I said, getting defensive.
Yeah.
That's the main thing people go to.
Yeah.
So it is most certainly harder to or most certainly easier to blame others for your problems than
Right.
look at yourself.
Right. I agree, because that is, like you said, the defensiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just, as you said,
Human
human nature to become defensive, because it is hard to have to look at yourself.
Right. Yes.
And no one wants to think of themselves as having too many issues, or just being too much,
Mhm.
or things like that. And so I think that it is easier for people to go to being in
Being
attack
defensive,
mode,
yeah.
right? Or being defensive. And so it really does take a pause, right? You have to learn how to pause and say, okay, hold up.
Right.
All right, let me check myself
Because
first.
if you don't, then you just look plain foolish. Because then you're not listening to anybody else.
Mhm.
You're just doing, oh, well, I think such and such. I think. That's the part.
Right.
I think. You don't know what someone else is thinking. You don't know the intention behind it. You think. You assumed.
Mhm.
That's what it is. You assumed.
And
You
most
cannot
of the time,
always assume.
right. And most of the time when we assume, it
Assumptions
doesn't.
almost always lead to conflict.
Yes.
That's almost always what it is because somebody assumed.
Right.
Nobody knows unless you ask, unless you communicate.
right. And so I think that's the main
I'm
thing.
sorry.
That was
That was
intense.
big.
Yeah, he was
Yes.
intense with that.
Mhm.
But I mean, I think
I feel strongly about
that's
that.
what I was
yes.
gonna say. It's passionate for you. Feel really passionate
Yes.
about that, and and I think that says a lot.
Oh, yes.
Says a lot. And so I think we both agree that although it is something that you should do,
Mhm.
look at yourself first. It's difficult.
It's very difficult.
It's
yes.
it's challenging to do that. So do you think that one person can really make a change?
Well, before I answer that, I would like to hear your thoughts.
I do believe that one person can make a change. I mean, it depends on a changes can be any kind of change, right? So
Right.
if one person just does some simple act,
Right.
right, of just truthfully, if some say like you're going in a store and somebody holds the door for you,
Right.
holds the door open for you, well, that is something that can cause a change because
It's an act of kindness.
right,
Mhm.
and it makes you feel good. It makes
Right.
the person feel good that's doing the action, and then the person that's receiving it.
And usually,
good.
when you feel good, you should want to do good to
Right.
somebody else.
Right. Yeah. So I definitely think that one person can make a change.
Now, I have an interesting take on this. So, say you're in a drive-through, and it's called paying it forward.
Mhm.
Somebody in front of you pays for for your meal.
Mhm.
So, almost like you said with the door holding, it's an act of kindness,
Mhm.
which should make you want to do it again. So it causes a chain reaction, which I think that's quite nice because then I feel like then that's really when you see, well, people aren't really all that bad.
Right.
I
Right.
feel like everybody wants. I feel like everybody really wants one thing: to love and to be loved.
Mhm.
That's really what it is because love makes the world go round.
Mhm.
When you just do an act of kindness, simple, just like holding the door.
Right.
You don't know. You could have made somebody's day. That person could have been having a horrible day until you did that just random act of kindness.
Mhm.
So you should always strive to be kind to others.
Right.
No matter, and you should always strive to forgive also.
Mhm.
Forgiveness is important, very important. Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think that comes back to, as you said even earlier, the pride.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so it does take a lot of putting your pride aside to
Most
be able
certainly.
to forgive others for what they may have done. And because a lot of times I believe that people don't intentionally, right, always set out to do certain things.
No.
Or to cause harm.
That's what I was saying also, yeah.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
So I think that we both agree that anything one person can cause some type of change and
Yes.
inspire change.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds
And I
Go ahead.
also, not to interrupt you, but I also think it's the people around you as well.
Mhm.
If you're in a room with a bunch of hooligans, then and you do a kind action, they may not necessarily want to. Who knows? They might want to,
Mm-hmm.
or it depends on it. It depends on the people. Also, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's just me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think to kind of summarize it, when it comes to Michael Jackson and his Man in the Mirror song, and our question of, are you really being your true self? It sounds like we're both saying that it's it's good to be your true self,
Yes,
but it can be
it
challenging.
can be challenging.
It can be challenging. But and what you said was, the kindness and not worrying about others or who's around you or things like that, then you're able to be your authentic self and just be who you want to be.
Right, because they always, I don't know if any of you have heard this, but I know they always used to tell me and my fellow students in school, do the right thing even when no one's watching.
Right.
Which, that goes back to like what you said. No matter who's around you, no matter who's watching, always do the right thing because you never know.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what somebody's going through. That's why you don't just go out and set out to do harm to people, because you never know what anybody's going through.
Right. Exactly. So again, Michael Jackson, there he is.
I know.
Giving us a word and a lesson. And that's just one of his
That's just
many,
one song,
right?
yes.
Just one of his many songs. And so last in our first episode, we also had a challenge.
Yes.
And so part of this is we want to challenge you guys, the viewers, as well. And so our challenge last week was
I was going to challenge myself to do better with public speaking and patience, and you were
patience as well. And so I feel like I was more mindful of being patient.
Right.
Whether it was when I was in a store, when I was out on the road driving, but I think I was definitely more mindful of it and being more aware of it and taking a pause, right, rather than going ahead and reacting and going off or whatever.
So I would just say right now, I didn't really get to much public speaking, well, because I didn't have many opportunities to do that. However, I will say that's not something I have to just focus on for a week. That's something I can focus on all throughout and just keep working on. However, the patience thing, I will say I did much better with that. When you're in a large crowd and you ask somebody to move and they don't move right away, that can really set you off like that. But I feel like at that point, you just have to give people the benefit of the doubt. You can't just immediately go to the defensive and get mad because maybe you didn't say it loud enough. Maybe they didn't hear you.
Right.
So I feel like I really had to think about that too during patience.
So practicing with patience. So our challenge to you guys, the viewers, and ourselves as well this week
is, if you looked in the mirror today, what is one positive change you think you could make this week? Think about that for a second.
And so we want you to think about that. And you know what? Comment below.
Yes, comment below
what you feel like you could.
If you feel comfortable.
Right. If you feel comfortable, what you feel like you would want to change in this next week. And so we will be here every week. Again, like we said, just doing a song, talking about a song and a message.
And eventually we will be reacting to a few of the music videos from back in the day.
Yes.
Compared to now also, yes.
Yes. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and we ask that you would,
subscribe, comment down below, and make sure to smash that like button. It really helps us out.
Yeah, and tell anyone else.
Yes, spread the word. If you think anybody else would like this podcast, please, please, please make sure to spread the word.
Yes. And so with that, we thank you, and everyone have a great week.
Thank you so much. We will see you next week.